Welcome to another episode of Sparksandblues, and I'll be dealing with my point of view segment. And this is me today putting out my point of view on the Idibia and Two-Face Idibia situation. For this one, it's quite unfortunate that it's a blue story, and we all like the sparks, the stories that keeps us happy, and we're excited and all of that. So this is a blue one, and it's a big one. So join me as we delve into this one. It's quite unfortunate that they have to go separate ways now, and my point of view on this matter would start from the fact that immediately Annie took the decision to go back, to get settled down with Two-Face. I remember being in my office at the time and discussing amongst colleagues where I insisted that was the worst decision of her life that she was taking, and that she would definitely regret it. This was not me being spiritual or maybe trying to say, I could see the future. No, but being calculative, I could just see that, she was taking the wrong decision. So it's just not enough. Marriage is a serious thing. So it's not enough for you to say, okay, because I've spent all my life with this particular person, that means I must spend the rest of my life with them. I think that is not enough for you to take a decision to be with somebody for eternity. And with the fact that this particular person has also ignored you, disregarded you, disrespected you, obviously to the public, to the world, to your family, by having children with two other women, I think that's just enough for you to be 100% sure that this person wasn't meant for you in the first instance. So I said to my colleagues then that if Two-Face had ended up as a bus conductor or ended up as a cleaner in some office, would Annie had gone back to him? And of course, nobody could respond. But then the story was, oh, Joy, you don't know how the issues of the heart are handled and all of those kinds of things. And I was like, well, time will tell. And then here we are today. It's quite unfortunate. My heart goes out to her rather. But then, the truth has to be said. And it's important that I put out my point of view so that I can help, women generally, that follow my platform and, listen to what we are sharing on the Sparksandblues platform. It's so unfortunate that this is such a massive blue story. We usually would like to have the sparks and all of those happy moments, but this is a blue situation, and then, I have to share my point of view on it. So it's quite important for us all to know that men in our generation are totally different from men in our parents, in our father's generation. Back then with our parents, most of them probably sent our mothers to school or, set them up, or, a lot of all those kinds of things, like sort of responsible for them financially. And then most of our mothers had to be dependent on, our fathers, and it was acceptable. In fact, it was something that people looked forward to, like, you sort of have no choice than to sort of worship your husband, be at his beck and call, and all of those things were sort of in vogue, for lack of a better word, at that time. Unfortunately, things have changed now. Men of today no longer look out or get impressed by women who are dependent on them, who are obsessed with them, who have low self-esteem and have probably been poorly trained about standing up for themselves in life, about being strong women, about understanding what power is, about understanding independence. So it's so unfortunate that Annie found herself in that situation, because I was watching the Young, Famous and African episode, the initial one before this one that, brought all this up. And I remember Two-Face being invited, and he said something. He said, Annie is quite obsessed with me, and I think it's very dangerous for her health. You can go and watch it. If you want to check, go watch that episode and you will see that. And I looked at that and I was like, wow, this sounds really dangerous. And unfortunately, she's here today. It's so sad. My heart goes out to her again, and a big shout out to her friends that are helping her. And it's important that they stand by her, because they have experienced and had a fair share of their own situations, and they've been able to come out successful. So for Annie, this is not me sharing my point of view about who was wrong or who is right and all of those kinds of things. However, when you fall, or when these situations fall upon you as a woman, what I'm putting out there is, especially when you know that you caused this upon yourself. So in Annie's situation, this is a decision she took. I believe she probably sat down, thought it through, and then she took this decision to settle and spend the rest of her life with Two-Face. Now that this situation has hit the rocks, I think the best bet is for her to face it, embrace it, accept it. First of all, if she doesn't, she's going to keep struggling in the rehab or struggling with her mental health. She needs to accept the fact that this guy wants to move on. She needs to accept the fact that, of the truth, this guy never values her or valued her or respects her. I don't know about the word love, I really can't tell. But if a man doesn't value you, then what does he really need you for? And unfortunately, their relationship has not worked out. The man is walking away. I don't know who he's walking up back to. If he's picking a new person or going back to his exes, well, I wouldn't know. And that is not the reason for this message. The reason for this message is that women should be ready to understand the consequences of their decisions. They should know the capacity of the decisions, and they should know if they are ready to live with it. Annie, unfortunately, the consequences of your decisions have now fallen on your laps. It's upon you. This is your reality, and I would suggest or advise that you just embrace it. That's the first step. Embrace it. Begin to have a new picture towards life. Learn from your friends that are currently with you, that are supporting you, helping to look after your health and the rest of those things. And then embrace life in a positive light. I know it's hard. People say, it's even actually hard. But then we all have to compromise in relationships. But when you find out that you are over compromising, you should know that that's a red flag. It has to be from both sides. If you've been dealing with too much of lies, insincerities, deceits, infidelity, and all of these things, why exactly did you continue putting up with it? What were you expecting? Were you expecting magic? So those are the things that I can term as your fault. Those were the places where you made a mistake. But then making a mistake is not the end of the world. I don't think that's the end of life. So you need to accept this thing, Annie. As difficult as it is, as painful as it is, as hard as it is, allowing your friends to tell you, I'm going to fight Two-Face. Two-Face, you have to fight all of us. And she stayed with you. The mistake she did was to love you. Well, I think they're just trying to console you. The big truth is allow him go. He doesn't value you, Annie. Accept it. Do not be deceived. Two-Face doesn't value you. This is the fact. He has never valued you. You were deceived. You were being carried away. You probably wanted the fame and somebody deceived you and whatever. And I see this as a massive self-esteem issue, because if a man that you claimed should be your man goes out to have children with 2 different women, 5 children, what exactly took you back there? That question needs an answer. And for all those girlies supporting you, well, I really don't know what they are thinking. So yeah, Annie, accept this. This is your reality. Face it. You can do this, Annie. I believe you can do this. I believe you can do anything that you really want to do. The first thing is to make up your mind, take the decision that you want to do this, and that can be the first step for you. So you need to accept this error, Annie, because you made it. You took a decision 10 years ago to settle with a man whose lifestyle you are aware of, with evidence, 5 children, 2 women. You knew it. So he did not deceive you and he did not lie to you. He also gave you the life you wanted. So I think he probably played his part, because this video is not to judge Two-Face or to judge you, Annie. So accept the fact that you made a mistake by going to agree to spend the rest of your life with him. So you have to wake up from it. Wake up from it, Annie. You can do this. Choose your path. Choose your path. Retrace your steps. You can do this, Annie. Begin to sort of drive your career again. Resuscitate your career. If you think it's dying, or you think it's denting, or if it's got issues, you can resuscitate it. You have what it takes. You are a known person. You are a celebrity, so you can do it. You can do it. You need to be humble at this time, Annie. You need to swallow your pride. Ignore what people would say. You've got 2 lovely girls coming up. Whatever you do would affect them. So think about them. Sacrifice this for them. Swallow the humble pie. You can do it, Annie. And be realistic with yourself. Begin to live the realistic lifestyle. Take away the fakeness. If you've been doing that, if you are thinking, I don't know your financial situation, but if you're thinking you can't live without Two-Face because of the money, that is not it, my sister. You can. It's all in the mind. So you will be good if you can do all of this. Focus on your lovely girls, Annie. Focus on your lovely girls. They are your future. And if you're ever scared or thinking, I'll still need a man and all of those things, if that's your situation, trust me, you can always find a better partner. So yeah, like I said, guys, this video is not to judge Two-Face or Annie or to say who did the wrong thing or the right thing. This is just, me putting out my point of view to say that for the decisions we make, especially life decisions, ladies, you need to be careful. We all need to be very careful. Being carried away emotionally, being carried away with material things, thinking that is all what the life needs. It's better to be crying in a Lamborghini. It's better to cry in what's this vehicle? To cry in whatever. It's better to cry in a private jet than to be crying in a flat or in a 3-bedroom house. It's better to cry in a mansion. Well, we can all learn from this. Annie has been living the baby girl lifestyle and then see where it has ended her. So I think it's important that we apply wisdom. It's important that whatever decision, guys, decisions are beautiful. You can even take an emotional decision, or you can even decide that you're taking a serious decision. However, a decision, check out what the consequences look like, weigh the options within those consequences, and then check, am I ready? Am I happy? Am I able to live with these consequences? If your answers remain yes, yes, yes on those 3 levels, then go ahead. And then if it backfires, face it. I think Annie did that. So saying now that, to face that's not it. Annie, face your decisions. The consequences of your decisions, you have to face it. And if you think you just cannot, please put your 2 daughters ahead of you. Think about them and sacrifice this for them. Fight this because of them. Fight for your mental health. Fight for your comeback. Fight for your return. You can see all the girlies around you that have had these issues. Of course, I'm not going to be calling out names, but you learn from them. A lot of them are doing well. A lot of them are bouncing back successfully. So ignore whatever anyone is going to say and bounce back. Two-Face is not the end of the world. He probably wasn't even the best for you. Can't you see? 10 years is not too much. Yeah, you've wasted 10 years of your life. Move on. Or maybe 15 or 20. It doesn't matter. Move on, Annie. I wish you the very best.